What is going on, my beautiful people? It is your boy Lyndon. How are we all doing today? I hope you're all good. Here's the title of the video. This one of the videos where this video is not centered around me. I just want to give you guys kind of what I've been feeling. It's a video that was in my head for a while, and I think it does need to be made. And just want to kind of say as a disclaimer, like I know some of you guys will be hurt by some of the things I say. Like it is like it does feel like I will feel like I'm getting on to some certain people from the things I say. By saying this is because I want men to be good. I want men to be doing better. I want us to be not kind of on top, but I want us to be more competitive than what it is at the moment. And use the title of the video right now. I'm going to talk about why I think modern men, and we're going obviously with this video, I'm talking about kind of the average person. It's like there's going to be outliers for both men and women that aren't going to fit kind of the boxes that I put them in, but I'm trying to talk about the average person in the average place, and we'll go from there. But yeah, let's get into it. I'm just going to talk about basically, and although I'm going to talk about obviously why women are doing better, it's not like anything I say is not like a dig on them or anything. It's just that like the level of that level of masculinity does need to increase quite dramatically in this world for us. So yeah, let's get into it. Why do I think modern men have become weak? I think for me, the first thing is kind of since we were young, there's no way to say it really. I think it is literally just been like video games, and people are gonna hate me for that, but I'm gonna back it up. I'm gonna do my best to back it up right now. So why I think stuff like video games has really affected us is because I remember being a young man and video games were massive, bro. Everyone had Xbox 360 or a PS3, and then obviously the PS4 and the Xbox One, and then obviously we've had the new gen as well, the newest gen. But yeah, so what I'm gonna say is obviously in terms of us, obviously we're the man, we're like as like men or as young boys. We obviously really drew like big things. Like a lot of my friends want to be professional gamers. Obviously, a lot of people want to be like professional footballers, professional boxers, whatever, writers. Like we tend to have these like kind of big goals. Everyone kind of like a lot of people have that kind of thing where it's like I'm gonna be a millionaire and I'm gonna make loads of money from what I do. Like obviously there's like, and I think this video kind of goes out to most people kind of more of like the bigger dreams when they were younger. They were like, oh, I'm gonna pop off as a footballer, I'm gonna pop off as a boxer, or I'm gonna pop off like as a gamer. Because to be honest, the guys who had the kind of regular dream, like the guys who were like, yeah, I want to become a nurse. The guys who were like, oh yeah, I want to do one in the finance field. The guys that were like, I want to the guys that were like, I'm gonna be a pharmacist. Like from what I've seen, the guys that do that kind of stuff and just kind of have those careers, kind of those normal, like kind of those kind of like not normal goals. They're still good goals, but like they're realistic with a certain. Not realistic. It sounds bad, but it's like you know what I mean. Like you can achieve them. Like 90% of people would be able to achieve that as long as they put the work in. Whereas like when it's like I'm gonna own like a multi-million-pound business, I'm gonna be like the top gamer. They're like things where it's like maybe one in like 500 people will achieve that. Obviously, I don't know the number exactly. It's probably a lot higher than that. But I'm obviously just giving a number. Obviously, it's way less normal. Whereas I think women were rooted more in a lot more of a reality-based world. Um, Even though they overdo it. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, in terms of like materialism, spending, and all that, I think women do it up a lot more. Materialism, kind of that hyper thing. Obviously, you got shows like Love Island where it's like it is focused on like kind of like it's like who like the most like top 0.1% like attractive and like all these mannerisms and stuff to think about. But I think in for a lot of women, the world they grew up in, it was they were looking at the real world. They were like, how can I get better looking? How can I do better in school to come get into a good career? They were like, how can I improve my mannerisms? How can I just be the best woman that is? Whereas like, a lot of us, it was we weren't really trying to learn them things. It was like I remember being 13, 14. I'm saying this video like this is because I know that this is what I can relate to, and a lot of people who have these big dreams, this is what they can relate to. It's just like I'm gonna go out, I'm just gonna kick ball, I'm just gonna try my best to become a professional footballer. I'm just gonna go out, I'm just play. Me and my mate's gonna grind out COD or FIFA. I'm gonna be a professional gamer one day, and we just kind of get lost. We were getting lost in these worlds. I think football and boxing and kind of sports is a bit of a that's a better one, because at least then there is a focus on fitness and getting learning into groups. But I think especially with kind of video games, there's not like as much, like in reality. It's like there's people that I know, and I love them, and this is like no shade to them, but it's like people were focused on, oh yeah, I've got such a sick ultimate team. Oh yeah, I'm so good at COD. But it's like, what's your social life saying? What are your circles like? What have you got? Kind of, what's kind of the bigger picture? Because and there's nothing wrong with kind of falling in love with kind of games. I'm someone myself who did fall in love with games at one point. I remember COD. I had between MW3 and Black Ops 2, I had over 100 days played. And I think as a young man, especially when we haven't kind of got the value, we're not someone where like you're not getting like attraction like all across the board. Like it's not like there isn't that sort of attention on you as a young man. It's like it's very easy to kind of fall in love with a video game, fall in love with chasing something. But we weren't learning kind of the social skills needed, and I think what happens is that kind of gap. I think especially between like say people when you're like 12 and 13 in like high school, and like people are making like their first relationships and they're getting to learn social dynamics and they're learning about dating and whatever. And then you had the lads that were like, and then you have the boys that weren't doing that, and you had the boys that were just playing FIFA and playing COD and like not learning like the dynamics, not really thinking about how they could improve themselves. It's like they get to 16 and the gap's already fairly big, and that gap will only ever grow when you're focused on your lane of video games and gaming. So I think that's been a big thing. And then that kind of leads on to my next topic, is that why men have become weaker. And it's like a lot of people, I don't know if people are going to hear this or not, or maybe they'll think, oh yeah, that kind of explains it. But basically, in this world, so we're going to talk about kind of levels to kind of feel it, believing more in yourself, kind of having kind of, well, I think at the top, obviously, I'm just going to say it because I'm describing it terribly right now. Basically, you have Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? It talks about kind of bottom where you need like your basic survival stuff, like kind of eating, sleeping. And at the top, it's like self-actualization and like fully knowing yourself and knowing what you're about. And the things about Maslow's hierarchy of needs is that at the bottom, alongside eating, sleeping, drinking water, is sex, bro. Like, sex is literally up there. So no, she's not up there. Sorry, sex is literally down there in terms of your basic needs. And we live in a world right now where 33% of men literally haven't had sex in the past year, and and obviously there's a percentage of them who literally have never had sex. So it's like, and I think, and obviously there is women on the other side that are like that, but that percentage is a lot lower. And in general, I think with women, if they want to be out there, if they want to attract male mate, and they like say get that kind of urge out of the way, they can. Whereas as a man, it's nowhere near as easy. So you got to imagine if you can't even fulfill the kind of bottom layer of Maslow's hierarchy needs, which is like a psychological model. And if you've not looked at Maslow's hierarchy needs, I do recommend you do have a look at that, because that will kind of explain kind of how you will layer up your life to be more fulfilled. So yeah, I do recommend that. But yeah, for a lot of men, that kind of base layer isn't filled. So how can you expect them to kind of go up and kind of achieve the things they need to become a top tier man? Like, and this is why I highlighted the relationships people started at 12 and 13, when people were learning these dynamics, they were having these conversations, and like I say, it's kind of living social skills, whilst other men were out here playing video games. It's because that gap between men, when these guys are now 17, 18, being in relationships, being in some serious relationships, being in some non-serious relationships, when they're out there and their girls pressuring them, they want to go on dates and they want to live life, and they're experiencing things, they're going on holiday, whilst other people are in their room watching YouTube videos, like busting nuts, whatever. Like, the gap is growing so big, and there's a lot. And I think women, like I say, they can find that, they can attract that, they can find someone who cares about them quite easily, whereas men, we can't. So, like, the people who haven't experienced that and were kind of escaping when they were younger, there is now a massive gap that we've got to try and fill, and that's why that's one of the main kind of reasons, one of my drivers why I've decided to make this YouTube channel, because I believe that you can get that. I believe that we can make that gap back. And I'm someone that's in the trenches with you, bro. My life isn't far from perfect. It's far from the finished article. Yes, there's some good things I've done. Yes, I moved to London. Yes, I've been able to. I've always been able to make friends, really, and like I do have people that support me. But my life's far from finished. I'm still trying to lose weight. I'm still not the perfect person. I still ain't got the perfect body. Whatever. I'm still trying to get better at football, get better at kind of boxing, whatever. Like my life's far from finished. But we need to stay kind of in the game. And what a lot of men do is they just literally stop. Like what a lot of men will do is when they realize that this game is going to take so much work, it's going to take time in the gym, it's going to take dieting, it's going to take thinking about my mental health. It's literally like at some point you're going to think about therapy. It's like every problem you have in your life, especially in let's say in this modern world, you can resolve. Like I'm telling you now, you can resolve most of these problems, and we have more resources than ever. So if you do want to achieve success in this life, like the path is definitely there. Like even in the past 20 years with like the invention of the internet, all these kind of remote sort of jobs and like these like online businesses, bro. Like your dad and especially like your grandparents, they did not have this opportunity that we have right now, bro. They couldn't think about starting an online business and literally go on YouTube and see a course ready to go. Like I think Iman Ghazi is doing a course next week called the Remote Revolution, and I signed up to it, bro, because I want to learn how to make online income. I want to learn how to start a business from scratch, and that's like a 4-day course, and it's free, bro. I'm there. It's like, and this year especially, and even up until last year, bro, I never really read books. I've been watching podcasts for a while and obviously learning a bit of knowledge about that, but they're kind of more entertainment podcasts, stuff like True Geordie. But it was like I needed to kind of learn more stuff from my podcast, so I kind of expanded. Obviously, like Diary CEO, School of Greatness. Like, there's loads and loads of sick podcasts that are very knowledge. Obviously, Chris Williamson. There's like some really good podcasts out there. But yeah, there's books on everything. Like literally, there's if you can't make friends, and you haven't read How to Win Friends and Influence People, then you're not trying to make friends, because that book there will put you in any that book there will put you in any circle you want within a number of years if you implement them steps. The Way to Superior Man, if you follow that book within, I don't know, give it 5 years and literally following that book, you're going to become a top tier man. If you follow Atomic Habits, you're going to become very, very efficient at what you do. Like there's all these different books. I think there's like the Psychology of Money. Like there's loads of books, loads of podcasts, loads of resources. There's no excuse in this world, man, to not get there. But yeah, as men, we need to stay in this race. And like I say, kind of that whole thing being in reality, what happens is, and I'm going to use my own example with this, is that sometimes we get into jobs that are hard, that are difficult. You get into uni and it's not a walk in the park, and a lot of men quit. A lot of men would just be like, oh yeah, let me just take a job that's like, I don't know, £9 to £11 an hour, and I was kind of grind that out, or I work part time, whatever, and that'll get me by. And and it's just like life's cool on the breadline. Oh yeah, I can drink my mates. I might have a girl that I kind of like, and that's it. But but you have to realize like the level of wealth that is in this world, man, and it's like you can get there, but you just have to realize you can live the life of your dreams. Like, and I'm want to be the first one to say that, and obviously this channel is me trying to get to that level myself to then show you guys as someone who was fat, as someone who didn't know all the social cues, as someone who didn't feel as clued up on this world as I probably should have done. I want to show you that it's possible to close that gap and then overtake those people that you thought you were never going to overtake. But you need to be willing to stay in the fight. I think one thing that girls do very well is that they'll have a job lined up, like in their mind when they're choosing their sixth form options, when they're going to university. They have a job in their head, they're lined up, and they're like, once I get that, then it's like I'll be in that job, then I'll look for my husband or whatever, and they're looking to settle down, and they will grind through whatever to kind of get there, and I like that is really good. That's something that we don't have. So my example of that is I used to work in the bank, right? And obviously coming out of school, I wasn't quite ready to go to university. I didn't feel ready at the time, which is fair enough. I wasn't really finding education. Like I wasn't really someone where naturally, in terms of myself, I'm kind of pushing myself. I wasn't naturally there in terms of that. Like I knew I was naturally clever, and that's why I could finish sixth form. But like towards the end, I just really didn't care, and that's one of the things, kind of the comfortability of life. That's one other thing that kind of makes them weak. I could afford to kind of coast with that. I was working part time, making a decent amount of money. Um, I was making a decent enough amount of money. I was working a lot of hours. It's one of them where it's like I'll trade my time for money, basically. But yeah, let me carry on. Let me digress. So basically, I got into this job, this banking job, and it was a job where it was like you needed to think, and it's not like a job where you can just turn up and just trade like your labor for money. Like you actually need to think. You need to be kind of resourceful. You need to like mentally. You need to be clear on what you are, because your mental would get tested in that job. And at the time, I was 19, stood there for like a year and a half. But then, as soon as it kind of got difficult, as soon as I wasn't performing that well in that job, as soon as times were getting hard, I remember being like, I can't do this, I need to quit. And I was like, yeah, I remember 21st birthday, I was like, yeah, I'm out, I'm quitting. And literally, I hadn't even like got another job secured. I was just like, well, I live at home. My mum probably let me get away for a couple of months without paying rent or whatever. I just need to get out of this job. And at the time, and I think it probably was what I needed. But looking back at it now, like it would have been better for me is if like I actually did try and get better at the job. If I did try, if I genuinely tried to sit down and like be like, how can I nail this job? How can I get good at this job so that the kind of conversations I have with my managers and the way I'm feeling, how can I feel competent? How can I feel like I'm increasing my skills rather than looking at I need a way out, I need a job that's easier, I need a job that's less stressful? Because a lot of us as men, we're looking for ways out. Like, I can't believe it, man. Sometimes I'm walking, man, or sometimes I'm coming off the tube and whatever, and it's raining outside, and I'm seeing fully grown men waiting for the rain to go away. Bro, what are you doing? Bro, walk outside. Like, when you think about kind of where you came from, kind of where your ancestors come from, what they went through, people going through world wars, and it's like we now your parents and your grandparents did so much for now men that don't want to step out in the rain. And you've only got like a 10-minute walk. Like it's like, bro, it's just like, and it's like in life, like obviously men now, especially I think in like London, obviously a lot of people obviously take kind of like tubes and like public transport. Especially when I was back home, most people at age like 2021 have got a car, and they'll never really come out of the car. They don't want to go out running. They don't want to. But I said these people could literally drive to like a gym and spend like 40 minutes there. They don't want to do that. It's just they just go through day to day, and they just want to get through a day, get home, have some beers in the background and whatever. And it's like I know that's not where you envision your life. I know you wasn't an 8-year-old kid thinking, yes, I'm gonna work in a supermarket and then I'm gonna go home, go some drink for the boys, drink at the local, come home and sleep. Oh, I'm gonna. Oh, I know you weren't 10 years old thinking, oh yes, I'm gonna live up in that I'm gonna be in that factory, grind out, and yeah, I'm running these 40-hour weeks, and then I don't know, we'll do some lines at the weekend or something. I know that wasn't what you were thinking, and I want to tell you that life isn't what it is. Sometimes you do have to grind. Obviously, I've made mistakes. Obviously, one thing about like I remember I was saying when I was young, I didn't want to grind, so I did get myself into debt. That's still something I'm still dealing with to this day. And it's one of the things like you can't escape life. You can't escape kind of the grind. I remember sometimes thinking that, oh yeah, and there's times last year, not last year, yeah, I'd say maybe last year, maybe especially start this year, where like I didn't want to do any sort of work. I remember times where I was actually missing uni, and it's like these are such things where it's like we're so privileged to be in this position where we can afford to do these things where like you actually have like an idea of being like, oh yeah, I could mess up at uni and go back home and just have a place I could live at. It's like, bro, even if like I don't come from a rich family. Like a lot of us, that's another thing as well. A lot of us will probably come from like single parent households. Well, it's like, well, my dad was there, like, and my dad was someone who was, well, my dad was accessible, but like it wasn't like my mum and dad weren't living together. A lot of stuff kind of put together was like my mum over my dad in terms of like working hard and that. And my mum worked really hard to kind of keep me and my brother in a good place. But like, you know what I mean? It's like the fact that like we're not kind of driven to kind of go that extra mile. We're not driven to kind of get that extra experience to kind of go through tough times. We're in a situation now where we are very privileged, where we can pull out of things. We can be like, oh, that doesn't feel good. That doesn't it like we need to be in the fight. That's the end of the story. Like, men just need to be in that fight a bit more. You just need to be able to give it those extra 2 months. You need to be able to give it. You need to be able to kind of think, oh, I'm gonna go to the gym today when I don't feel like it. We need to be able to give it. Oh, I can miss a drink. You need to give it a bit of. Oh, I can maybe look to start. I can look to start meditation. I can look to start reading books, because the more you expand your knowledge, man, the more your opportunities will open up. And one of the things I'm reading this book, So Good I Can't Help You. I've just about finished it. I'm actually just reading the conclusion now. But one of the things to talk about is building career capital. If you want a job that's interesting and you generally will fulfill you, then you need to build these skills. You need to be able to put yourself in tough situations and kind of grind your way out. You need to be able to visualize your future and work in jobs, and be willing to switch sometimes. Be willing to switch. Sometimes you have to be willing to switch careers, but you need to, like I say, just be able to excel, work hard. And I think, especially when I talk about the start, kind of the disparities where a lot of men are struggling, especially young men. You don't get any attention the girls are getting. Like, say your sexual needs aren't being met. Like, you're not as happy. You've not got a lot of money. It's like that is hard, but like this life is long. Um, I think, especially when you come from like a poor background, like your childhood wasn't great or whatever. It's like no one you can't do anything about that. But if you're getting to the age of 80, if you're getting to like retirement age, you're getting to like 60, 70 years old, and you're like, oh, I didn't achieve what I wanted to in life, but it's because of my childhood. Then no one's hearing that, especially as a man. No one is hearing that, bro. If you don't get your stuff together by the time you're ready to exit this world, and you regress it and you're sad, bro, no one's going to care, because you've had enough time to change it around. You've had enough paychecks. You've had enough free time. You've had enough thinking time. So, and it's one of them. But people get told kind of enjoy your 20s, and it's like, yes, by all means, make sure you're going out. It's not every day. It's not all the time, like every second, self-improvement planning, like actualizing, whatever. Like, sometimes, yes, have fun. Like, I remember my birthday, the video on the channel, immediately drinking and talking to my subscribers, and I was on Instagram. I was having a bit of fun, because we do need to blow our steam, but keep the momentum rolling. Have a game plan. We need to be stronger, because at the moment I just feel like we're getting dominated. There's too many man dropping out of uni without a second plan. It's like, and I think that's the thing. People are like, oh, what, you need to go to uni and get an apprenticeship. And that's correct, bro. And there's a lot of people in apprenticeships I think are doing better than these big uni dreamers, because it's like in the apprenticeship you're doing a job, and like I say, you're doing hours, you're doing something you actually want to do. Whereas these people who like, oh, they go to uni, drop out, and you end up just doing like any job you can find for £10 an hour, like, bro, you will get stuck in that. There's too many examples. I remember I worked in a supermarket, and I was literally shocked. I remember being like 17, and all these people were like, oh yeah, I've got a degree in this, I've got a degree in that, and I've been working in a supermarket for like 10 years. It's like, it's too easy. It's too, like, with this comfortability, the way life is comfortable now, it's too easy. Like, it's too easy to be comfortable and let yourself settle in a position where it's like you may not be happy fulfilled overall. And especially with the way the world's getting harder. So if it kind of hurts that life is weak for you right now, then life is peak and you have been a bit weak. Yeah, let it sting. Let it simmer, man. Like, it is gonna hurt. I heard I was watching a Hamza video, and he was on about you need money to protect your family. You like, how can you know that your parents, especially if you're a person of color, how can you let your parents know that they've done so much just to kind of keep food on the table, and they've done so much to keep you away from any sort of like Like they've kept you in a good place, kept you really from getting bullied. Obviously, make sure kind of money while you go on school trips and whatever. And they've done all this for you, just for you to sit around and not really contribute back to the world. It's like, come on, bro. It's like, how can you just kind of sit there like, especially in my situation, it's like, how can I sit here in this nice London flat where like I know there's been times where it's like I've needed help from like my sister or my mum just to pay my rent, and it's like, how can I sit here and not want to do my uni work and be like, put it down to like mental health or whatever, when they've literally been struggling. These people have been working like mad hours to just to provide, just to have the ability to help. Like, why would you not want to be a person who could help someone else in their business? It's like, why would you not want to be that person who can give back to your community? Why would you not be that person who people look up to? People like, that guy has a legacy. You can achieve these things, but we've got to stop being weak. And like I say, and it starts from me. I'm telling you now, lads, I'm pressing from the front. I went on a run this morning. That's why I'm sweaty. This shirt is sweaty. I'm literally gonna go in a shower and then I'm gonna probably hop gym very soon. But I'm pressing from the front. I'm gonna say I'm getting back on my box and stuff. I'm back at football. I'm doing these YouTube videos a lot more consistently. Obviously the quality videos are going to get better as I need to earn some money. To be fair, I need to hire an editor. That is kind of one of my main goals right now, because I do want the quality videos to be better, be able to put more clips online, be able to market it better, just so the channel just grow a bit faster. But like, I'm really trying to show you that this is possible. Living remotely, like I'm trying to do these courses, I'm reading these books, like, and I know I'm still very early on. I just turned 23. Like, I've got 7 years till 30. Like, and although I'm not taking that lightly, I know that I've got time to grow. So I know I can hit maybe 26 after 3 years of really trying to push on this, and I'll be in a much better situation. I'll be much more comfortable. I'll actually be able to go out, live life, go on holiday. I'll be able to be in central London a lot more often and not actually fear for my bank account. Like, I know good times are coming. Good times will come, especially when you put the hard work in. But we've got to stop being weak, man. We've got to stop this victim mentality. The kind of clip that summarizes it perfectly is, I know most of you that are watching this probably seen it, is the Andrew Tate episode of Grilling, and Cheyenne goes to him and she's like, she's just like, what do you think about men's mental health? And it's like, yeah, I can. And he's like, yeah, I can empathise with it, but men have got to work harder. It's player versus player. And she's like, but forget all this player versus player shit. A man must be sad. He can be sad. He can validate it. He can be in his emotions. And it's like, that's not how it works for us. Like, we don't have that. Like, we don't get loved unconditionally. Unfortunately, it's like the only people who love us unconditionally are our family, and I'm very, very appreciative of that. And that's something I read in my journal today. I was like, I'm so thankful for the fact that my mum, my sister, like, they do love me unconditionally. But I understand, if a girl's going to come into my life, she's not going to love me unconditionally. Like, if I mess up, if I stop working, if I become fat, if I get fatter, but I'd say, if I just lose all interest, if I don't show her attention, like, if I don't give her the right attention, like, I know that her level of attraction is going to fall and the love won't be as strong. And that's fine. And I also know as well, especially being in London as well, is, bro, these girls can work. These girls can work. Like, like, yo, I was literally thinking that. I was literally thinking about kind of girls that maybe I'd be interested in, and girls that, well, I know who are kind of, I don't know, who hit my eye or whatever. And one thing you notice is that they're all very hard working. Like, these girls, like, they have makeup pages, they're photographers, they're singers, and they're making moves in real life. These people, even if the money isn't there, you can see the process, you can see where it's going. And it's like, when I'm looking at a girl and I'm like, this girl's working harder than me, bro, that hurts my soul, like, because I'm like, how can you be the man, how can you be the guy she looks up to, how can you be the guy that she wants if she's working harder than you, bro? It doesn't work. And I'm going to talk a lot, obviously date dynamics are a big thing right now. Obviously Love Island's going on, a lot of people would love to analyse that. I literally had to hop on Twitter because I'm literally seeing all those opinions about Love Island, and I'm like, why am I spending an hour on the Love Island thread, bro? I've never watched the show. Like, I've never, like, seriously watched the show for like a full hour. So it's like, why am I sitting here every night taking the opinions? Like, it's irrelevant to my life. But we get caught in a place where it's like, oh, it's funny, I'm part of the conversation. Oh, this is culture. Like, nah, focus on you, bro. Focus on the things that you want to hear, that will make you happy, that will make you grow. Life's all about growth, man. Especially as a young man, life isn't going to be easy. I was watching First Man, and he was saying a lot of people who say they're going to be millionaires by 30, probably won't make it because it's a very, very hard thing to do. But if you're willing to grow, if you're looking to kind of build the kind of skills and the revenue, and you want to know, you know, you want to go to the revenue streams, you know, kind of the goals you want to set, and you're willing to drive towards it, you're likely to get there in the future, man. But just play the long game. And I think playing the short game's killing us, bro. Like sitting there, busting nuts, not going outside, not doing any sort of sports, sitting there on our video games, and being like, life's gonna be okay. Someone will protect us. That mentality is killing the mandem. It's killing us, bro. Like, and I think sometimes even people who like want to be like musicians, like I think there's a lot of people who do music, want to do rap, and they see the lifestyle, and they see like they see like the twerk, they see like the mad attraction girls have for them, and they see like everything. But it's like you don't want to work on your metaphors, you don't want to work on your imagery. It's like it's so yes, it's good to go out there and be able to write like a 16 and just yeah, and you think you're sick and. But like it's an art, bro. It's storytelling. It's talking about people's struggle. It's relatable music. It's not every day. It's just let's just hop on a tune and talk about girls and smashing. It's like yo, you've got to be able to do more than that, bro. Because to last in this game, you've got to be able to be very diverse. And a lot of people, especially in music, they just live for the litness. And a lot of people like say. So lads, I'll leave it here. That's kind of a bit of my rant. I just kind of wanted to get that out there. But yeah, 100% from me, it's like have your fun, man. Have your moments. And trust me, when you are actually working and when you really take accountability for kind of where you're going in life, you will actually find some fun in it. Like I hated every second running before, but now I'll run around. I went for a run today, and throughout the run, bro, there's times where people like are looking at me and smiling. I was like a thumbs up, or like, I'll give like a quick nod or whatever. Like someone's acknowledging you. You maybe it might be like a girl who's like acknowledging the fact you're running, and she respects it. And, you know, it's like yeah, it's like it just makes you feel good. But it's like you're in the gym and someone's admiring you, and you're like yeah, you just feeling it. Like yeah, I appreciate that. In my mind, obviously, I'm not saying that out loud. It's a bit weird, but like when you actually start putting in the work, when you're playing football, and the lads like, oh, I love how you're running. So when the lads are like, yeah, I love how you're running. I love your positioning. Oh, that was a really good goal. Like these things, when you're actually putting towards something, you will feel good moments. And genuinely, I feel a lot better these days being productive than unproductive. It's like I was meant to go back this weekend to go back to Burton to celebrate my birthday and that. And I genuinely was on that. But I thought about it. And I was like, well, it's a pre-season game I'm going to miss if I go back to Burton and drink this weekend. I'm going to put calories on from all like the beers and that. And yeah, also I'm not going to get as much work done around family. So I'm still going to go back. I'm going to probably go back Sunday, Monday. But like I was like, let's get this pre-season done. Let's get I wish I went for a run today. I'm going to go gym. I'm about to say I'm going to get some work done over this afternoon. And then I might do some as a thing going on later today. I might do like a light like event. I'll probably be in bed by like 11, 12, get ready first thing in the morning, hop out, play football, and then I'll be able to hop home and I'll be able to spend some time with some family, feeling like I've earned it. And that's what it's about, man. It's about you can have fun, but just be able to work, man, and don't let all your work be kind of work just because you're being forced to work by your boss, man. Actually want to work, actually want to proceed, actually want to grind out, because when you actually start seeing results, you're going to be so happy that you start putting in work, man. And even me, like I'm nowhere near I want to be. I'm still a big fat guy, but like I'm like 20 kg down now from like February. So and yeah, I'm just so happy. There's so many things that have been kind of great and grateful. I'm grateful for. So it's like yeah, just lads, just start out. I'd say look it towards your mental health. Start off slow in terms of like getting into walking, gymming, and whatever. Especially if you're a big guy like me. Start off slow and obviously increase progressive overload on that. Progressively, obviously make things a bit harder for yourself. You've got to keep doing. Then yeah, obviously try and get your income up if you can. Try and get a job if you're working part time. Try and get a full time job, or try and get a job where you're working towards where you want to go to long term. Write your goals. Stay kind of grateful, and then just realize what you're doing it for. I think is a big thing as well. Like I say, I do genuinely think that the average woman is outperforming the average man, but I do think we're going to turn that around. I think there's a lot of men. I think especially if you are kind of in a football group, if you are doing something. Like say if you are in a positive like music group or whatever, you want to take things far. I think that genuinely is possible. I think, and a lot of people probably waiting from the latest video. You probably get girls, and your life is good, and you have the social life, and you have the money to live. And there's some people who I thought I know watch these videos, and because you're a friend of mine, and I know I know that you're doing your thing, but there's guys out there who genuinely need to hear this, and I want to be there for them. I'm not trying to be here just for the lit people. I want to be here for the people who are struggling a bit too, and that's what my channel's about. But thank you for watching. If you're watching this point, thank you so much. You guys are like I say, you're putting the time in, and hopefully you're getting something from the video. And in return, you're helping to improve my life. My channel statistics are really will really benefit from you being here. And like I say, as my movement grows, that value comes back to you. The moment I can start making money from these videos, the moment I can start, I don't know, ideas to do courses, get an editor, get things more popping, will only benefit you guys in total. So the guys that are people who are in my initial audience now, thank you so much for taking time to watch the video today. But until next time, much love to you all. Have a good rest of the day. You watch it when you're hungover, get some water down, you get rehydrated. Because I know a lot of people don't watch videos on Saturdays, but Sundays people will hop back into the videos. But yeah, have a good one, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.